Well, it's Thursday, folks, and greetings. The 28th of August, almost done with August. Time is liquid. Well, not much to share, but unless I'm mistaken, some of you folks rely on seeing a video from me Monday through Friday. But if I don't make a video, it's no big deal, right? Actually, I'd like to know because this morning I don't have. We'll see. I may catch a head of steam. But as I was waking up this morning, it's 8:48, a little late for me actually. I was thinking I don't know that I really want to make a video, but it's not a big deal because all I got to do is turn the camera on and talk. But sometimes it's not like I don't really have much to share except, little mundanities. I like to give updates. So that'll get me going. So yesterday when I read the blurb about the phone project, I misspoke. The submissions start on the 29th. It's not that they end tomorrow, they start. You have until the end of October or the 1st of October to submit. And I heard from Doug, and he's going to make his own submission. Um, he's going to stop by tomorrow, and we're gonna meet up and see if I've nailed these final two parts of the 4-track EP that we plan to release. I think I've got it. But one thing is for sure, the piece of music that I'm using that I wrote for The Clock is Ticking, I would like to, that's probably what I will submit to the phone project. And not necessarily the version with words, with Doug's words. I worked yesterday. That was the primary thing I did yesterday was tweak that piece of music. And the title for the poem is "The Clock is Ticking," but for me, I've titled the piece of music "Home." That's what it makes. That's what it is. I made a mix. I don't have many records to show that I've actually played. I'll show some records, but mostly this is just me talking today. Is that okay? Let me know. Um, anyway, I worked until I thought I had gotten to a point where I thought, "Oh, this is good." Made a mix and took it to bed last night. Went to bed about 9. That's not unusual anymore. But as I lay there listening to Home, a couple things came to me, and a couple other things that I've recorded where I said, "Oh, it needs this, that could happen." I actually got back up and and turned my studio on and worked some more last night. So I'm real happy with the piece of music called Home. It really touches me as well. Excuse me. So I'm going to use it, even if it doesn't ring strike a chord with Doug for The Clock is Ticking. I think it fits, but we'll see. That's why he's going to stop by tomorrow because I want to play it for him here on my stereo. Nice big sound. In other stuff, I'll respond to some comments. One I can remember without reading it is that someone asked me about the cats and do I have nicknames for them. No, I don't have nicknames for them. I just call them the sweet kitties, and when they're out there, I talk to them in my kitty baby voice. It's the sweet kitties. I like the kitties. Come on, kitties. Little sweethearts. Yes, it's my sweet kitties. And that's how I talk to him in that voice. I've also noticed this has happened twice now that if I don't see them around and I sit outside for a while and I call them, where the kitties at? Come on, kitties. They come out. They come around. So there's that. But no nicknames for the cats. Day before yesterday, Raymond gave me some tomatoes out of his garden. And they don't look like much, but boy, are these tasty. Raymond knows. Raymond has a green thumb. And he's been gardening all of his life. And you can tell when he gives you vegetables, they are good. And Big Mama's Restaurant, the family-related restaurant here in Omaha, they buy, well, they probably buy them, even though that's Big Mama was Raymond's sister. I know that he gardened and would supply them with some vegetables, and it's part of the appeal of the food there. Is how tasty everything is. These are so good that I just slice them up and eat them like fruit. But I also use it in my I augment my chili with that and my beans. I'm living a simple life over here, folks, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. The house across the street where Gary died, and they're all moved out. And so the guy that owns the house, he's working on getting the house ready for the next tenants. And the last couple of days, he's been over there with guys doing stuff, fixing it back up. So be curious to see who moves in next. Let me look at the comments. I'm glad, folks, that if you're curious about what I'm talking about, and just you could actually, some of these artists, if you do a search for them on YouTube, and you keep scrolling down, you'll find that my videos are often picked up by the algorithm. You're looking for a certain band and you scroll, and maybe down there you'll see a video by Dereck where I talk about them. So that's one way to find those videos. Someone says that they want a Dereck mug. Well, this was a gift to me from my friend David Matiziak down in Atlanta. I see you had a birthday recently, David. If you see this, happy birthday. I have to have that little spot of I need to shave my head. But he sent this to me. I'm not into merchandising, folks. Some people like that. Get your t-shirts. Like my friend Aaron Gum. He has a new band, a new project now. And he's got a totally different mindset than I do. The band is barely going, don't have any records out, and he's already got a line of merchandise, t-shirts, stickers, key flops. What else? That's not the way I think. I'd like to sell you some CDs, some music, but the whole idea of promotion and merchandise, I'm not into it. These are easy enough to make. Just take a picture to the place and have them put it on a cup. But thanks again, David. What else? I really only listened to 1 or 2 records yesterday. I'll finish up with that. Someone wanted to know, Do you often always listen to an album before you buy it? Well, it's not like that for me pretty much anymore. I've been listening to music and buying records so long that I have a bit of a sixth sense when it comes to of what I like. But do I listen online? A lot. Yes, every day actually. It is part of what I do every day besides work on music and practice. I'm almost didn't practice yesterday on the bass, and I said, stick to it, Dereck. I do not use Spotify. My Some of my music is on Spotify, and it's been on there for years, and yet I've only made I think $1 off of Spotify, so I don't use it. I don't like it. It feels like it's a ripoff. But I yeah, that's I listen. The Deftones. It's not something I need to own as far as me buying records. Like I said, people send me stuff, and if someone sent it to me, I'd be very happy to have that for a while. And then the person found the video where I showed Fragile. Yes, the cat's a part of my day. And the person asked about Jean-Michel Jarre, and I just showed the Jean-Michel Jarre. I have his records, but I very seldom listen to him. And if I can be real frank about it, I like what I do better than Jean-Michel Jarre. I really do. I really think that what I'm doing is more interesting as a direct comparison. I really do. He's okay. I think I like what I do actually better. And I see, Pat, you're having car problems. Hope you don't get it towed. Get in touch, Pat. I'm not the sort of person where somebody says, "Hey, give me a call." It's like, no, I'm not like that. I don't call anybody. I really don't, and sometimes, I'll think about, well, what happens if something real bad happens? You'll be there all by yourself. Well, if something bad happens, I'm here all by myself. But I'm not going to start calling people just because of that. I like my I guess you could call it solitude. I like free space. I like my free space. That's what I'll say about it. I sure do. And yeah, I like Black Midi. I saw them live, and I'm keeping all their albums. The reason why I'm not keeping the Jordy Greep is because a big focus of his solo album is what he's talking and singing about, and I'm not entertained by it. It's like I can really see where if I was 30 years younger, some of his stream of consciousness thoughts would, I could probably get into it, but mostly it's like, just why don't you be quiet and let the music play? Yes. Stephanie, always good to hear from you. And that reminds me, yesterday, when I went to the store for my usual weekly trip, I ran into Teddy Peoples. Remember Teddy, Stephanie? His older sister Yolanda was your friend. It was really good to see Teddy. In contrast, seeing him having to be we're the same age. He and I were very close for a while in junior high. He used to go over his house all the time. Interesting. But let me finish the thought and try to finish my thoughts. But it was good to see Teddy, but it made me thankful that I'm in the shape I'm in. I have health issues, but I can still walk. He was in one of those carts that you use in a store, and his face was all blotched. I asked him, "How you doing, bro?" And he said, "Oh, I could be better." And he opened his shirt and showed me he's got some kind of stent in his heart and shit. It was so good to see him. But as I reflected on it, it was interesting how, as children, we would end up sometimes with mutual friends like that you meet in school. I would end up being friends with someone when I met in school, turns out that one of my brothers and sisters met their older or brother or sister, and they became friends. Like it ended up with Teddy and my sister Yolanda. Remember them, Stephanie? Um, Teddy was was into music a little bit, but not like me. But there's something about his personality, and I've been reflecting on this. And I don't mind being transparent about this. I just liked him as a person. When I look back on my life, because I'm a single person, pretty sexless, I look back and I look back and I was not the sort of kid or person who dealt with being attracted to his friends. That's not why I liked people when I was a kid. I wasn't attracted to them sexually. I liked them. There was something about them, like Teddy, for example. I did a sleepover at his place one time, and it brought to mind other times as a child when I would do sleepovers or the issue would come up, sex, and I was always like, I'm like, what is this? That's not what I'm here for. And it's like, I like people, and I guess I'm glad that that was not an issue for me. Wanting to, it wasn't, and when it would come up from on the receiving end, because I had it happen a few times with young friends. It's like, what, wait, what? I don't want to get, I don't want to have sex with you. Seeing Teddy brought up a whole lot of thoughts about the past, and that's some of them, and I felt like sharing that. You probably don't want to talk about it, but is it something that, am I talking about real life? You know what I mean? Why are we drawn to people? And I'm mostly drawn to people's essence. I like good looking people. I do like nice looking people, but that's not why I like them. Okay, so three records got played yesterday because, like I said, I had my little studio situation burning up yesterday. I'm so thankful for the blessing of creativity. It's very, very satisfying. But I went ahead and played this because it was out. John Hassel's Psychogeography, and I highly recommend this. This is so unique sounding, so unique. Um, the stories, the musicians that he plays with on here are no names. There's no names on here, but these people work with him really well. Um, Greg Araguin, Jeff Rona, Adam Rudolph, and Daniel Schwartz. And this stuff was recorded in 1989, and that's what's amazing. It sounds new. This was recorded in the 80s. It don't sound like it. It sounds like it could have been recorded now, right now. Fantastic music. I also have this one. I didn't play it, but I have it. The Living City, and this is a live album mixed by Brian Eno. The same group of musicians. Interestingly, there's a big hog on one of the tracks on here where it's an obvious mistake. They left it in. It's cringeworthy as a musician. It's like, I'm glad that wasn't me that made that hog. It was like, whoa, shit, that wasn't supposed to happen at all. And they left it in. It's kind of cool. The other record that got played that actually surprised me, because I was thinking, is this another one where maybe I'm going to trade it? Mostly these old records from the 60s and 70s, most of them I want to keep. As I was talking about my library, they're part of my library. There's records like Electric Prunes. I hardly ever play their albums, but I'm keeping them all. So this came up as I was over there in the Tees. Truck. This is a reissue. Truck. I think the band is from Oklahoma. And so I have records like this where it's like I'll forget what they sound like. And so I was thinking this is maybe a tad country. No, man, this is good. This is that Midwest rock. And there's very little country about this, although it looks like you could think it might be country. I was like, oh shit, this is good. Truck. That's the other thing they got played. And sitting out to play is this 12-inch single from Belgium on the Play It Again Sam label. It's another label that I really enjoyed when they were in their heyday. But Parade Ground, dual perspective. Colin Newman from Wire plays on here. And so I do like this. I don't have any of their other records. I haven't played this in a long time, so I need to play this. It may have dated, but the Wire connection is one of the reasons I'll probably keep it anyway, but I remember liking this 12-inch single, Parade Ground. Robert, if you see this, Soul, the tragedy in Minneapolis happened right down the street from my friend Robert Stewart, who I was just telling you about. I talked to him yesterday. I said, was that anywhere near you? He said, that's right down the street from where he lives. You know, all I can do is shake my head because things are so insane in the world now because of greed and politics and power that the response to this latest shooting is already being politicized, and we can't, as a people, as a nation, we can't get it together to formulate a humane response to this madness. I say, and I'm saying it very strongly, that partly why the lay of the land, the atmosphere of the planet, and my country in particular, the reason why things are so messed up is because of the message that's coming from the top down, the pyramid of people and what they own and what they can influence, and power and money and material wealth are the bottom line that dehumanize us. Even if someone who's causing trouble on a street level couldn't tell you that or has no immediate awareness of what I just said, it's a factor playing into their behavior. Lawlessness or disregard for other people's rights, being just basically respectful. How can we expect the general population to do that when none of our leaders do it? They all lie and lie and lie. It's ridiculous to think that all the little people, all the poor people are going to behave while the people who have the purse strings running things are just buck wild out of control. And they are. So, all the more reason why I'm happy with my quiet little life here. Real happy. I do not want to be on tour. I do not want to be traveling, jet setting. Not now. And I'm so unhappy about the mail situation, the international mail situation. Is it going to stay like that? We'll see. All right, folks. Tell me, does it make a difference if I don't make a video? You know, I'm thinking about if I feel like this tomorrow, I won't make a video. Unless you need it. I don't mind if you tell me that you feel like me talking makes a difference. Let me know. Okay?